All right. Yeah. So first I wanted to get started on um exactly what how I started it off about you being multi hyphenated. I know that you're a writer and a director. When you wear those hats for certain projects, how do you compartmentalize or balance them out, or how do you just kind of just bring them together?
Um, well, how do I bring them together? With some of my film projects, I did write, so that's easy to pretty much bring the directing with the writing together.
Mm-hmm.
I write books, but books are separate from filming. So I try not to merge them both when I'm on set because sometimes writers are very passionate about their work. So directing, they want things exactly how they wrote it. So I
Yeah.
try to separate that when I'm on set, especially if I wrote the project. I try to separate, what I wrote compared to what looks good on set. Because of course, when you're on set, things change from the script.
Yeah.
A lot of things change.
Yeah, exactly. And just to I guess some backstory. Of course, a lot of people now are saying that we're in a renaissance of a new renaissance of black creatives um
Mm-hmm.
that are coming about. And my opinion on that is that we've always been around. It's just that right now it seems more trendy to say that. I feel like we have so many pioneers that it's not fair to disregard what they do. But how
Of
do you
course.
feel in the placement of Hollywood and the work that you're doing as a black woman behind the scenes? How do you feel about that? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think now they're giving us more of a spotlight. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
always been around. Black creators have been around for decades. But now I think
Mm-hmm.
they're giving us, I see more of us, getting the spotlight of getting, seen. Because back then, okay, you see a show, you really don't know who directed, who wrote it. Now with the platform of social media and stuff like that, they're shouting us out. They're letting people know, hey, this is a black creator, this is a black female. They're giving us more of a platform now, if that makes sense, to shine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really like, it's really a lot of opportunities for, especially black females. Even being behind the scenes, I'm hearing, hey, you should do a thriller. Hey, you should do, a scary movie because they really want that from black females. A lot of celebrities have told me that. So they're really giving us a platform to shine and show what we can do, which they didn't do that back then.
Yeah.
They
I
didn't do that.
yeah.
You have to really Google the show and the movie to see, hey, who wrote that or who directed that. Now they really just, putting our names out there. Black female director, black female writer. They really just like P Valley. They really,
Mm-hmm.
so now you know who's behind P Valley.
Yeah.
Back then they wasn't doing that.
Yeah, and the internet is so fascinating because you find out certain things that really you didn't know. Somebody
Correct.
on Twitter was talking about how Forrest Whitaker directed Waiting to Exhale, and I was like,
Yep.
"What?"
Yes, he
I was
did.
like, and I
And we
thought
can
of
find it out to you years later, like
yeah,
decades later.
yeah,
You know how old Waiting to Exhale is, and we just not finding that out. Like,
yeah, and finding stuff out like that, it's amazing, but it's also disheartening because I'm like, where was his,
mm-hmm.
Oscar nomination? Because that was a beautiful directed film. Where was his
They
other
barely
movies?
even named him, and that
Mm-hmm.
was a hit movie
Yep.
with a dope soundtrack
Mm-hmm.
that we listen to all the time, and we
Yes.
did not know this man was behind this movie.
Mm-hmm. And then that goes into the segue of the information that Melissa gave me, where she said you've worked alongside or worked with people like Neo or Tyler
Mm-hmm.
Perry. Um,
Yes.
how did you put yourself, or how did you and your team put yourself in those positions to not only work with those names, but work with those names in projects that you were proud of and interested in, and they were equally proud of and interested in as well?
Well, I started off in the music industry, and that's where I was working with Neo and Chris Brown. When they was on tour, and I thought I wanted to be in the music industry because my family, the Leverts, are in the music industry. Mm-hmm. I thought that's where my heart was, but God had a different plan for me. I left tour at that time. The tour life was getting slow back in 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. It was getting slow. So I left tour, and, I went back home to Atlanta. And at that time, Tyler Perry was just starting to do his thing. He just starting to build his reputation in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So, I started, being in a couple of his first projects, as acting. And when I was doing that, I was like, hey, I want to know what these people doing behind scenes. Like, I think I need to do that.
Yeah.
I love acting because, I was in performance arts growing up and stuff. So being on stage was, always a passion of mine. But, I'm watching these people work behind scenes, doing their thing. And I'm like, I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
And I started, PAing, like production assistant, on a few Tyler Perry sets and a few other TV shows of that nature, and really like starting to learn the business. So, with that, I started filming myself, creating myself, writing, and I was fortunate to work with a lot of people I grew up watching on TV. Like some of them started being my clients, wanted me to film music videos, TV pilots for them. I'm like, yo, I remember I was in high school. Mm-hmm. Running home, watching 106 in Park.
Wow.
And some of my favorite artists, and now they calling me to, film a project for them. And I thought that was very dope.
That is really dope. How was that feeling to meet, honestly, probably some of your idols, and not only meet them, but like work with them and them call you? How was that feeling?
It felt like an accomplishment. I've been around celebrities all my life because of the family that I grew up in. Mm-hmm. But to actually, and I never asked my family for anything. They like, you never call, you never.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make a name for myself and do things on my own. And I had a lot of bumps in the road, of course. It's challenges to success. It's challenges. You fall, you get back up. And I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. But, I never regret the things that I learned and I've been through. Because it made me stronger. It made me more powerful. It made me, to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Speak a little bit about the hardships, not only the ones that you talked about right now, but honestly, the hardship of making a film. And I feel like people take it for granted so much, but now that the movie theaters are not are not open, and now that we're seeing more stuff in streaming service, and now we have time to look into our favorite movies and be like, oh, that one of our favorite movies was probably never going to be made, instead of this one detail. So obviously, with you being a filmmaker, talk about the hardships of that.
Oh, Lord. Okay, my first written film was The Killing Secret, the one that just released. Mm-hmm. That was the first script that I actually wrote. Wow. I wrote. I've been on plenty of sets, but this was like my first baby, and I remember writing it, and I'm like, I want to film. You think filmmaking is easy, because even me being working on other sets, I'm like, I can do this. Mm-hmm. But now I'm in charge of all these people, all these different personalities, and it's my baby that I'm trying to make look right. Mm-hmm. It is very stressful. So I went through a lot of different situations. That's how I really learned the film business, is doing my first movie, because I had to really, really learn like the ups and downs of the business. And I went through a a lot of people that I paid, and I spent money out of my pocket, and one of my other friends pitched in. I spent money to make this film. So I went through a lot of people not doing their jobs that I paid them to do their jobs, and I was going back and forth with people. A lot of different personalities on set,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought the Killing Secret wasn't gonna get finished.
Wow.
Yes, but I had promised myself, and I had promised, I love new talent. Blue Kimball, he was new to the game, but he's all over the place now. Like I can't look at TV without seeing him.
Yep.
But I promised my talent that this was gonna make it on TV. People are gonna watch this movie, and I promised myself everything that I created will be watched by the world. I'm not just gonna put anything out just to say I did a movie.
Yeah, and that's very important, and I like that the information I got. I like that it's on Vudu, that it's on Prime Video, that it's on Fandango. That's really really amazing. Speak to that as well as how the not only the filmmaking process has changed over the years, and people are understanding it's damn hard to make a movie. But now that I feel that we're in a revolution as far as when it comes to content, and I'll just say, just pieces of art to be more accessible than ever before. So how did you feel about your piece of art being on streaming services, and then how do you feel going forward with the future films you'll be making, and people having access to them?
Yes, man, I feel great. Like everybody's been asking me, like, how you feel? How you feel? The Killing Secret's out. I feel good. I went through so much with this film that I'm like, okay, it's where I said it was gonna be. Like I'm on to the next thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm filming my next film like in January. And I plan on making it bigger. I have some huge names in this next film, and I'm trying to hit Netflix, Hulu. I'm trying to go to the next level.
Yep.
With the film. So it's just about you got to start somewhere. I tell everybody that you got to start somewhere. That's your beginning, and that's how you're gonna learn. You learn it, and you just grow. You just grow. I plan on making this next project bigger. I'm planning on making this project after that bigger. I just want to keep growing in my films. And of course, you're gonna make mistakes. I tell everybody you're gonna make mistakes. I look at the Killing Secret now that I'm more knowledge in the film industry than I were when I made the Killing Secret. I'm like, I should have did that. No, I'm my biggest critic. But like I tell people, you gotta start somewhere. And just to hear people enjoy the film, or it was dope, or the ending was crazy. And I'm about twists. I love doing crazy twists in movies because I'm a movie fanatic, and when I watch a movie, I'm really good at telling what's gonna happen. I don't want to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you want some twists in there.
So when I write, I don't want my audience to know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
I want to give them that crazy twist, like I didn't think that was gonna happen. Like what the hell? That ending was crazy. Like what the hell? I've been hearing that, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want you to say. That's the reaction that I'm looking for. When it comes to my films, I like the realness of films. Like John Singleton, he's one of my favorites. God rest his soul. He was just raw and real. I want to be able to tell different stories. I started off with a thriller. I got a drama coming next. I got so many different movies coming that I just want to be able to tell different stories, where they're real, or you can relate, or it might be sad. But I just want people to relate to different things in my film.
Getting back to your point a little bit about working with new talent, and in this film, you had Blue Kimball, and I wanted to ask, how do you feel you want to set the tone with your not only your actors and actresses but with the whole
Mm-hmm.
crew? Do you have like a routine? Do you do something every day? What do you do to set the tone on set?
Oh, the set the tone. I try to have a relaxed set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes before we start filming, probably in the break area, I'm playing like old school music and stuff like that.
Okay, nice.
I like to have, because that's how I like to relax and think about. Because filmmaking is a lot of thinking. It's a lot of us. We have to work together to make this thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, people are on edge because you're working 12 hours
Mm-hmm.
and longer a day. So I try to relax my crew. I try to relax myself. Make sure that everybody says they eat good on my set. Yeah, I try to feed. People probably got a little fat on the kilter. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to build a family at the same time because all our names is on this project.
Mm-hmm.
There's no I in team.
Hmm.
Even though I'm the director or writer, I've always asked my crew, what do you think about this? We have to work together to make things, complete. And I tell my camera crew that because, they've worked with a lot of directors, be like, it's my way or no way or whatever. But I like to hear other people's opinion so we can shoot it the best way we can. Because they might see something that I'm not seeing.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've never been that type of director that I'm like, oh no, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Because you'd be surprised what you can accomplish when you're working as a team.
Yeah.
I don't think I know everything. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. I'm always feeding off of people's knowledge. And I dislike people that think they know everything and don't want anybody's opinion.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
You never too high to not take someone's advice.
Exactly, and it seems it does definitely looks like, and from my research, you have a very giving spirit, and I saw that. I came across some of your philanthropic work, you giving back
Mm-hmm.
to the community. I want you to to tell us more about that. Tell my audience more about that.
I have two situations that's special to my heart, and that's my organization, Broken Silence, and I bring awareness to sexual child abuse, and I also write books on it. And that is very dear to my heart. Teaching parents how to protect their kids from sexual abuse, teaching kids how to talk to their parents or knowing their body parts of good touch and bad touch.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm on the way to come out with my third book, which is a children's book on good touch and bad touch, kind of like teach them about predators and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That's one, and also donate to St. Jude. Finding helping researching for cancer. I did a lot of donating to St. Jude, and even with the Killing Secret premiere, I had everybody to come and donate toys for Christmas to St. Jude. So those two are really big and dear to my heart. St. Jude, I lost a lot of family members to cancer, so that's definitely something that I've been doing since I was in high school with St. Jude.
Mm-hmm. And then to touch on it a little bit, you said you grew up with the family of the Leverts, the music family.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about. I'll tell you a little story. How I came across the Leverts was mainly through my dad and the music that he loved, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad is always playing this song or this album. But the more I grow up, I'm like, wow, these guys were they are amazing. I'm like, man, I'd love to see a film about them or know more about them. and it was
Mhm.
just one of the basis of their, you know, in their voices, in all their voices, and all their souls, and all their music. It always felt like there was love there, like something very deep
Mhm.
down. So tell me about that experience growing up with that, like you said, growing up around the music business.
Well, at that time I was so young. You know, with celebrities in my family, I really didn't know they were celebrities
Mhm.
because I didn't look at them like that. And now that I'm older and Gerald is gone, my
Mhm.
mom and my aunt used to go to Gerald's shows all the time when he came in town. And, of course, I could hang out with the grown people, but he would always send me stuff like teddy bears and
Mhm.
write me letters and stuff and sign stuff that I still have to this day. And I'm an old school. I keep everything. I'm like my
Yep.
grandma. I
Mhm.
keep everything. And I didn't realize, how big he was until he was like really gone. And I'm
Yeah.
older now,
Mhm.
and I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm just like, wow. Even Eddie, like, when my mom is around, she'll call. He's like, oh, I see you doing your thing all the time. You got to show me something. And he kind of like keeps up with me a little bit. I'm like, dude, you
Mhm.
edited the first. Why are you keeping up with me?
Mhm.
And I'm just realizing how big of legends they are now that I'm older.
Mhm.
But it's like that. You don't look at them like some superstar in your family and stuff like that. You look at them as your family, your
Mhm.
uncle and stuff. It's so crazy. Gerald's son just sent me a message. I'm trying to get him to jump on this movie, this next project as a producer.
Mhm.
He just sent me a message. He's like, yo, what's the movie about? Da, da, da. Like,
Mhm.
yo, because he has a degree in film, and Eddie's been telling us we should work together, and I'm like, yo, this is a good opportunity to get on this next film.
Yeah, and then
Come on, dude.
yeah, and then maybe and then maybe my wish will come through of some type of project or movie or mini series, because I don't know if 2 hours is enough for me at least.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, so
it's just family. You just look at
yeah.
them as family. I've never looked at them um, nothing more really.
Mhm.
Eddie's daughter, she hits me up and she's like, "Man, I see you on the internet grinding. You're doing your thing."
Mhm.
She's like, "Anything you need, just let me know." I'm like, all right." I'm so like on my own. I don't even be thinking about
Mhm.
eating what up. So, but it's cool. It's a blessing that they even reach out and say, "Hey, if you need something, let us know." You know, I appreciate that.
Mhm. And tell us more about your future projects. The one that you said you're gonna be filming in January. You said.
Yes,
Yeah, and
January.
then anything else you feel comfortable enough to share with us, maybe a sneak peek of something.
My future project is called Finding Destiny, and it's a dope project. I can't go into really detail because we're still signing on talent. But
Mhm.
when I say it's gonna be some faces in this project, it's gonna be some faces. One in particular is Crystal. She's running from Players Club. She's one of my favorites, and
Wow.
she signed on to be because it's kind of like a stripper movie a little bit, but
Okay.
it's dope. And of course, Players Club is like one of my favorites with Bernie Mac in it. And I was like, I have to get the OG
Yep.
in here.
Mhm.
And so she was like, all right, I'm on. So I'm excited about it with family in ATL in January. I got a few more names. I'm waiting on them to confirm their parts on the film. But it's a drama. It's dope. It's a suspense. You're gonna love it. Like, it's based off a true story, actually.
Oh wow, I'm already ready for it. Like I already want to be on behind the scenes set and do behind the
Yeah,
scenes
we
interviews.
ATL. We gonna start filming in ATL. So I'm very excited. And Blue is actually he signed back on too. That's my brother all day. So he's like, whatever you need.
That's dope. That's
So
really dope.
we're gonna do it again.
Mhm. And then for the final question, I wanted to ask you, what do
Okay.
you want the message behind your work to be? Not necessarily in totality, because you got a long, long career ahead of you to do more great work. But as of now, the work that you have done and are currently working on, what do you want the message to be when people see your work?
Anything is possible. Just don't give up on yourself. Because if I would have gave up on myself, this would have never happened. Regardless of all the struggles and the things that you might go through, if you give up on yourself, you never know what you can become.
Exactly.
If I gave up on myself, I wouldn't be sitting here now turning my TV on and I can see the Killing Secret.
Yeah.
And I actually have another movie that I produced that's on there as well, Life Without Hope. So I'm seeing like two movies back to back that came out back to back, right behind each other. They have my name on it. So it's just like, don't give up on yourself. You're gonna go through challenges, but challenges make you strong. Challenges show you how strong you are.
Yeah, that's a great message, and that, like you said, that's so amazing that you could see your work on the TV. And
Yeah,
then,
I'm still getting tagged. Like Blue just tagged
yep.
me right before you called. He just tagged me on somebody on his post. Like, I just got done watching The Killing Secret, love it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't gonna like it. It's where they are.
Yeah. And then that's in my opinion, that's a good thing, because the people who don't like it will tune in. They might even tune in more than the person who does like it.
Yeah. I mean, all criticism is great. Whether it's good or bad, hey, you watched it. Hey, good enough for me. You noticed
Exactly.
it. You noticed it. So, hey, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. And thank you for such a wonderful interview. I appreciate it
Thank
so
you.
much, taking your time, and Melissa connecting us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and then I'll
Give me your Instagram and stuff.
yeah, I'll send you my Instagram and stuff like that, and then I'm based in the Los Angeles area, but Young Bold and Regal, my entertainment company, is also based in Atlanta. So if you need somebody to do behind the scenes interviews, or maybe
Yeah, I'm in LA and I'm from ATL. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing projects. I'm excited about doing my first project in LA. We're probably gonna do it next year as well. TV series. But yeah, I'm in LA and ATL. So definitely, like, I would definitely love to have you.
yeah, we'll definitely be there, and then it's all up to you, whether you want us to hold on to it until the it premieres, or a sneak peek, whatever you decide.
Yeah, so yeah, just let's keep in contact with each other. So when we get ready to film, I can let you know, and you guys do your thing.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.